times seek change, so must we. That the new time requires new response to new challenges.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I'm your regular host, Binta Magaji. The first phase of the COVID-19 vaccination is underway. Corporators support the federal government to ensure the success of the exercise as Nigeria joins the rest of the world in waging a relentless war against the deadly disease. COVID-19 kills. Respect the protocols to stay safe. Now to the program. Nearly all Hajj officials and intending pilgrims for 2021 Hajj across the country have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. This includes NAHCON chairman, his management team, and the commission staff. Beyond the vaccination, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is building on this effort with more strategies to ensure total compliance with stipulated protocols in order to flatten the curve. What are these strategies and how are they being implemented? Answers to these and other questions in our Spotlight segment shortly. Also in the program, we have our regular segments such as the NAHCON News Diary, which features the activities of NAHCON chairman, key functionaries of the commission, and other stakeholders. These are more shortly. Stay with us.
Every Muslim is a potential pilgrim. To make the Hajj possible for the Ummah, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is running a Hajj saving scheme through Jaiz Bank. The scheme allows depositors to gradually save for the Hajj over a period of time. Registration into the Hajj saving scheme is ongoing for all Muslims. Muslims wishing to perform Hajj can be enrolled into the scheme through the following outlets: NAHCON offices across the country, state pilgrims welfare boards, agencies and commissions, any branch of Jaiz Bank in the country. Enrollment can also be done directly by logging into dedicated sites for the scheme. Let's participate and support the Hajj saving scheme for better Hajj services.
Thanks for being there. We begin the program with the news diary as presented from our studio.
The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, Alhaji Zikrullah Kulle Hassan, has congratulated Muslims for witnessing the blessed month of Ramadan, calling on them to take advantage of the enormous benefits embedded in the period.
For all of us Muslims in the month of sacrifice, I wish to commend you to continue to uphold the virtues of Islam. Don't just fast without remembering your neighbors. Don't just fast without being spiritually inclined. This is the time to avoid all form of sin. Otherwise, your fasting itself may be in vain. Because the Prophet ﷺ reminded us, those who fast, they still backbite, insult, injure others. It's good as if they're just depriving themselves of not eating, having the pang of hunger and thirst, and have got no reward.
The chairman then called on Muslims to pray for Nigeria to overcome its many challenges, particularly that of insecurity.
We have so much problem bedeviling our nation. Please remember every one of us in prayers. So perchance, by the gift of God at the end of this month of Ramadan, some of these ills that befall as a nation will have somewhere else to go outside the country called Nigeria. I wish you all a happy Ramadan, and may Allah bless all of us.
Meanwhile, the management of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has put in place strategies that will improve the activities of tour operators in Nigeria. This was made known by the Commission during a meeting with tour operators which took place at the Hajj House on Thursday, the 15th of April 2021. The plans discussed at the meeting include deployment of desk officers to major airports starting with Lagos, Kano, and Abuja, revised guidelines on Umrah services and Umrah monitoring services.
Inspection of tour operators companies, which used to be conducted by officials from the headquarters, will now be handled squarely by officials from those zonal and outreach centers in their respective areas of operations. Where necessary, 1 or 2 officers could be deployed to support those on ground. So if you have any problem, any challenge, you are at liberty to first and foremost call upon the zonal coordinator to sort your problems.
We have had some understanding with some of your leadership of some of your concern. We have had and we know some of your concern. They have presented it to us very well. In some we already have understanding. In some we have agreed to review it in the future. In some we have been honest to say why our hands are tied, why we cannot for now change from the status quo.
The discussions generated comments, observations, and questions from the tour operators.
Let me start with the zoning arrangement, which is okay by us. I hope when we get to the zones, issues of reconciliation, for instance, which is finance, can easily be settled at the zone rather than having to come to Abuja. You know, in the past, we do reconciliation and redo reconciliation.
At the moment now, we cannot do that, but we are in the process of automation of our processes. That is computerization of all our activities. And before the year end or by the end of this year, we shall be able to link our zonal offices also with our data here, so that any reconciliation can be handled here. So for now, it cannot happen, but we are planning to make sure that at least by the end of the year, we shall be able to do reconciliation at our zonal offices. Thank you very much.
We shall bring you more about the meeting in our subsequent edition of the program.
Every Muslim is a potential pilgrim. To make the Hajj possible for the Ummah, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is running a Hajj saving scheme through Jaiz Bank. The scheme allows depositors to gradually save for the Hajj over a period of time. Registration into the Hajj saving scheme is ongoing for all Muslims. Muslims wishing to perform Hajj can be enrolled into the scheme through the following outlets: NAHCON offices across the country, state pilgrims welfare boards, agencies and commissions, any branch of Jaiz Bank in the country. Enrollment can also be done directly by logging into dedicated sites for the scheme. Let's participate and support the Hajj saving scheme for better Hajj services.
Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is leaving nothing to chance in efforts to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic amongst people directly or indirectly connected to its operations. To achieve this, the Commission is focusing on the vaccination and enlightenment of Hajj managers and prospective pilgrims on the importance of observing all protocols laid down to halt the spread of the disease. For details of this and more, stay tuned for our next segment, Spotlight. Don't go away.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
As Nigeria joins the rest of the Muslim world in preparing for the 2021 Hajj, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is leaving nothing to chance in ensuring that all Nigerian intending pilgrims are vaccinated against COVID-19 and must also learn to respect the COVID protocols.
We must maintain the COVID-19 protocol as enunciated by the Ministry of Health, which also must be in line with the WHO protocol Saudi government are designing their protocol, which we must also abide with it. So the Nigerian protocol and the Saudi protocol are things that we must abide with. We know they also go through several review as the COVID-19, changes its, harm. But we will abide with that, and we are in constant touch with this government agency. All the relevant government agencies, we are in constant touch with them. We know that eventually vaccine is going to play a big role.
NAHCON has mapped out plans on how to deal with the situation.
All the states, we just need a 5-member.
Pharmacist Zainab Ujudu Sharif is the commissioner at NAHCON representing the Federal Ministry of Health. She gives an insight on the Commission's measures to combat the COVID-19 disease.
It's glad to say that NAHCON has strategically set aside programs that will ensure that it is able to take the task of informing pilgrims on the importance of what they need to know with regards to COVID-19. Definitely, it's not going to be business as usual. A lot is needed more in the management of health of pilgrims. There is a need for a lot of advocacy. We all know there is COVID-19. We also realize there are doubting Thomases. We also realize that pilgrims are willing and ready to be able to perform the Hajj willingly and desirable, especially in terms of the religious tenets. However, it is important that Nigerian pilgrims are well informed on the current pandemic that is ravaging the whole world.
The Commission is mounting a series of pilgrims awareness campaigns. These include the provision of a booklet containing basic information about COVID-19 protocol.
Hajj Commission has clearly taken note of that, and right from the beginning, the medical team of Hajj Commission, which you know, has the mandate in all the aspects of health of the pilgrims in careful collaboration with the states. The states have a role to play, the Commission has its role to play. However, the Commission has set aside to be able to have what we call a kind of information handbook. Basic information clearly stating to the pilgrims what they need to know. We consider things like, do you know what is COVID-19? Do you know the symptoms of COVID-19? Do you know the measures, the non-pharmaceutical measures put in place? Do you know the importance of these measures?
The booklet will be translated into other Nigerian languages to facilitate better understanding, particularly amongst people at the grassroots.
Translating the handbook to relevant languages, because you know a lot of our people in the grassroots perform Hajj. They need to have this basic information, and we hope within the next 2 weeks this handbook should be out, and we hope to give it to the states so that the states can have them and begin to use it to inform pilgrims. And the Commission too has put in place a team of advocates in the medical field. I've just had an interview with the Islamic Association of Medical Practitioners of Nigeria, made of various groups, pharmacists, doctors, professors in various fields. And I think that's a handy tool for us.
In addition to this, NAHCON is adopting advocacy as part of its communication strategy in reaching out to intending pilgrims about the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Commission has set aside to do a lot of advocacy, telling all the executive secretary of the states the need for them to do much more to the grassroots, informing them about COVID-19 and the measures that needs to be put in place. Considering the areas of vulnerability in the sense that individuals that are easily vulnerable in terms of people with hypertension and diabetes, there's a need for careful consideration in aspect of performing the Hajj. Furthermore, possibility of looking at the age limit to see the possibility of advising the intending pilgrims on the way forward.
It is in line with the advocacy approach that the management of NAHCON and executives of state pilgrims welfare boards held an interactive meeting at the Hajj House recently.
Each and every state had a dedicated office for public enlightenment. We are on and off for it, and we have started enlightening our intending pilgrims to hasten to the various health centers to get their shot of their first shot of COVID-19 vaccination. And in 8 weeks' time, they will be having their second shot of the vaccination.
It is free. The National Hajj Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, they have provided almost 100,000 vaccines to be distributed throughout the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and the Armed Forces.
The Enlightenment has helped in mobilizing intended pilgrims to make themselves available for vaccination in their respective states, as well as the FCT and the Armed Forces.
We're hearing from the medical line that this vaccine is safe, and we have enlightened our people that this vaccine is safe, inshallah. And up to now, we have not received any complication from our pilgrim. All the pilgrims were vaccinated, and there's no any complication from either the staff of the board or from the pilgrims.
Intending pilgrims yet to be vaccinated have very slim chance of performing the Hajj this year.
If you want to perform Hajj, you must abide by the rules and regulations set aside by the Presidential Task Force, the Federal Ministry of Health. Furthermore, and finally, the protocols that we are going to look at as established by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The management of the ongoing Umrah exercise is no doubt an indication of the direction of the 2021 Hajj.
MashaAllah, you're still watching as you answer the call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Imam Muslihuddin Abdul Majid continues the discussion on Talbiyah. Let's hear him.
Yes, you can chant Talbiyah without ablution. It's a prayer. Well, a prayer can be said without ablution. You see, it's different from salat. It's a prayer. It's a kind of praise. You can praise, you can pray without ablution. Those things you can do without ablution. So those information, those words contained in Talbiyah, we have praise and we have prayer in it. So you can chant it without ablution.
What are the different ways in which male and female pilgrims should recite the Talbiyah?
According to the four Aimma, what I mean by Aimma is that I'm referring to Imam Maliki, Hanbali, Abu Hanifa, those orthodox imams. According to them, men are to be chanting it loudly, while females are allowed to chant it secretly, to the extent that if she is hearing herself, it's allowed. I said Talbiyah contains praises and prayers. So that word Talbiyah itself does not have do's and don'ts, but it is the state of ihram in which necessitates that permits you to be saying the word Talbiyah that has do's and don'ts. And those do's and don'ts, you must abide by it as long as you are in the state of that ihram.
Emphasizing the oneness of Allah is among the lessons embedded in chanting the Talbiyah.
Regardless of your tribe, regardless of your language, of your color, you see the pilgrims, all of them will be chanting the word Talbiyah at the same time. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. There's no difference. There's no difference in it. You see, if you come from Europe, if you come from Africa, if you come from Asia, this is the word we are going to pronounce. So this means it gives us the sense of unity. It gives us the sense of oneness. You know, Islam is a religion of oneness, monotheism.
Imam Muslihuddin Abdul Majid urged intending pilgrims to acquaint themselves with the different supplications recommended for pilgrims performing the Hajj and or Umrah.
Every Muslim is a potential pilgrim. To make the Hajj possible for the Ummah, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON is running a Hajj saving scheme through Jaiz Bank. The scheme allows depositors to gradually save for the Hajj over a period of time. Registration into the Hajj saving scheme is ongoing for all Muslims. Muslims wishing to perform Hajj can be enrolled into the scheme through the following outlets: NAHCON offices across the country, state pilgrims welfare boards, agencies and commissions, any branch of Jaiz Bank in the country. Enrollment can also be done directly by logging into dedicated sites for the scheme. Let's participate and support the Hajj saving scheme for better Hajj services.
Alhamdulillah. Up next is the quiz.
Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, mention 3 rites common to Hajj and Umrah. The correct answer is Ihram, Tawaf and Sa'i. The winner is Ibrahim Yusuf from Lokoja, Kogi State. He provided the answer ahead of others. Ibrahim Yusuf will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach him with the prize he won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. Now to the quiz for this week, and the question is, what is the reward for performing Umrah in Ramadan? I repeat, what is the reward for performing Umrah in Ramadan? Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing.
Once again, good luck to you. Before we round off the program, we take some messages from our viewers.
Rabiu Umar from Kano State sent in the first message. It reads, Assalamu alaikum. I really like this program and I pray for more successes at NAHCON. Yahaya Ajeni Fuja from Lagos State sent in the second message. It says, Jazakumullahu khair for this wonderful program.
You too can send a message through our mobile number and other social media platforms. Remember, you can stop the spread of coronavirus by complying with all preventive measures. Let's support our government in the fight against the deadly disease. That's it on this edition of the program. As you answer the call, join me same time next week for another package. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا